So the bad boy of UFC, Josh Hokit, just accused the big black beast, Derrick Lewis, of quitting in a fight, guys. And now this White House UFC card suddenly feels a lot more dangerous, guys. And you know what? If you don't think so, it's a huge, huge problem for the UFC, for Dana White, because Josh Hokit is off the rails. And when you hear somebody questioning a heavyweight, especially a heavyweight like Derrick Lewis, a guy who's been around the block, a seasoned veteran, you're crossing into a territory that can change an entire career. Literally, guys, overnight. So when I talk about Josh Hokit, when I'm talking about Derrick Lewis and this problem that the UFC apparently has with all this drama that's happening around these two guys, I mean, first of all, it's not just Josh Hokit calling out Derrick Lewis. He's calling out everybody. And this isn't just some random trash talk, guys. There's a deeper, I mean, look, let's just be frank here. There's obviously a deeper reason that the UFC is letting Josh Hokit, off the leash, so to speak, because there's obviously a lot of publicity that follows this guy. There's a lot of storylines that are coming out of it. I mean, there's a reason this fight has been fast tracked onto the biggest UFC event of the year, President Donald J. Trump's birthday. They're also going to be celebrating America's 250th birthday in advance, and it's all going down June 14th at the White House lawn at the Freedom UFC 250 White House card. And this might actually be probably one of the biggest events that we're going to be privy to, guys, especially in this time. And you know what? The fact that these two guys that are about to square off are heavyweight fighters, it's going to be pure chaos. And look, I'm going to talk a little bit about my opinion on Derrick Lewis and why he may have accidentally, and I say this, accidentally become the most perfect opponent for this Josh Hokit experiment, or shall I say the UFC experiment, because I don't even know where to begin. If you guys have seen the pressers, with Josh Hokit, he's got plenty to say, guys, plenty to say, and believe me, he doesn't have a shortage of words. And if you cross his path, he's got plenty to say about you as well too. So let's get into it, guys. Before we do, welcome back, welcome to Duality 7X. I'm your host Shiraz, and as usual, guys, we always have a lot going on. There's plenty of storylines to keep us busy. I mean, I could do this full time if I really wanted to. But if you guys enjoy real combat sports analysis, if you guys enjoy real fight talk, no fluff, just business talk, breakdowns, we get right to the point, the nitty gritty, that surface level, then you guys have definitely come to the right place. All we ask is that you smash the like and subscribe and join us, join our community. There's plenty of ways to support our channel. But let's get into the story, guys, because I want to talk about Josh Hokit. I posted a video maybe last week about Josh Hokit and some clips from some of the presser, the conference that he attended. He was calling out everybody, including Alex Pereira. He got into it with Alex Topuria. So, but I'm not going to go into that again because I already did a video on that. But let me explain Josh Hokit's recent comments towards Derrick Lewis. Now, both of these guys, as you know, are officially set to fight at the UFC White House card. And this is going down, guys. The backdrop is the White House. Come on. I mean, what a perfect setting. I mean, this honestly sounds unreal to say this out loud, but it's going down. It's happening. And if you don't believe that, I mean, so many interesting things are happening. This Saturday, you got Alexander Usyk taking on a famous kickboxer, Rico Verhaven, and the backdrop is the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. Now, I don't want to talk about that right now, but we will talk about that later this week. But Hokit just came off a very, very huge win against Curtis Blaydes, guys. If you watched UFC 327, I mean, this is what many, many people were calling probably one of the best heavyweight classic fights that they had a chance to witness in quite some time. I mean, the UFC immediately offered Josh Hokit a turnaround against Derrick Lewis for the UFC Freedom 250 White House card happening at the White House. And Josh Hokit was quick to respond, and he immediately took it without any questions. I mean, he's ready to go. He is ready to go. He's fired up. I mean, all his cylinders are cranking at God knows what. But on paper, guys, this sounds like a huge, huge opportunity, not just for him, but also for the veteran Derrick Lewis. Now, let's talk about Derrick Lewis, because Derrick Lewis is still one of the biggest names in the heavyweight division, all right? And when I say division, respectfully, also heavyweight history. I mean, this guy holds the UFC record for the most knockouts in the heavyweight division, right? I mean, the Black Beast has done it all, guys. I mean, there's been some questions about his recent performances, which I'll kind of get into. And Josh kind of alluded to that as well, too. And that's the whole premise of this video, because that's why Josh Hokit called out Derrick Lewis. I mean, he made it very, very clear that he actually respects Derrick Lewis's accomplishments, but not necessarily Derrick Lewis himself. Let me, just a big emphasis on respect about his accomplishments, his accolades, not about the guy himself. Because in an interview that he recently did with Simon Head of UFC.com, Hokit actually said that Derrick, and he's talking about Derrick Lewis here, he said that Derrick Lewis has got probably one of the most knockouts in the heavyweight division in the UFC by far, right? And yes, respectfully so. But on paper, he goes on to say about Derrick Lewis, he's a respectable opponent, but yeah, he's a household name, but he doesn't respect him. He doesn't respect anybody who gives up on themselves in a fight, and that's what Derrick Lewis showed in his last fight. Now, there's some merit to that, and there's definitely some argument, because I mean, right there, that's not normal fight promotion, first of all right? That's kind of like a personal statement against somebody. Yes, he does respect Derrick Lewis's capabilities, his accomplishments, what he's been able to achieve as a fighter, but he doesn't respect the man at all. I mean, he's essentially attacking Derrick Lewis's mental acuity and mental toughness. He's also questioning Derrick Lewis's identity as an active fighter in the UFC. And so that's personal, guys. That hits home. And in combat sports, guys, there are certain things, and we can attest to this, guys, certain things that fighters can laugh off. There's been a lot of name calling back and forth between fighters, but questioning somebody's heart, questioning whether they quit in a match, those are the two biggest things that fighters hate the most. No fighter will ever claim that they quit unless, and of course, it was like a doctor came in, or the corner's like throwing in the towel for whatever reason. It's a different story. But you got to understand the premise of the context of what Josh Hokit's trying to say, because and if you're trying to understand that, then you need to go back. You need to go back in time, guys, to January, where Derrick Lewis entered 2026 with some serious momentum. I mean, he had consecutive wins against Rodrigo Nascimento, Talison Teixeira. Teixeira, what a crazy fight, guys. But it looked like Lewis had found another late career run. And this is what I want to kind of get to. The kind that, well, let me put it in perspective for you guys, because Josh is pretty pissed at Derrick Lewis's attempt to fight Waldo Cortez Acosta. Waldo knocked him out, clearly. You guys saw the fight. Hokit watched that fight live in Vegas, and he clearly didn't like what he was watching. Now, he didn't like Lewis's reaction under pressure. He felt he was very weak. Something happened to Derrick Lewis. Now, whether he quit, I mean, there's so many variables into this. How are we to know exactly what's going on in this fighter's mind? But from Josh Hokit's perspective, I mean, he was there live. He witnessed it live. He believes that the Black Beast mentally folded once things got a little rough for him, or got through a little bit of turbulence, some bad weather, and he folded like a ton of bricks. Now, whether you agree with that or you don't agree with it, or you agree with it. I don't know. I mean, the important part is that Hokit said it publicly because now the UFC's got some, apparently they got some real narrative here to kick off of. And I mean, we're not just talking about a young contender versus a veteran. We're talking about the likes of a loose cannon, a guy who's got, apparently has got no fear. And you have to understand where the UFC is today. I mean, this is a new heavyweight division, right? I mean, the whole UFC of old with the old guard, and all that. I mean, you could throw that out the door. The new heavyweight division, everything about the UFC now with its fighters and its branding, its, and all the affiliates and marketing and everything that drives this business is like next level. All right. These guys are unstoppable. They've got the best of the best fighters, and that performance with Hokit and Blaydes, holy schmoly, guys! I mean, there were so many times that either guy was going to get knocked out. Blaydes really needed that win. He really needed that fight, but clearly it was Hokit that came out the winner. But there's a lot of variables when it comes to this fight with Derrick Lewis. Obviously, President Trump wanted Derrick Lewis on the card, so he got it. Now, what's going to happen is going to be really, really interesting because seriously, guys, Josh Hokit, he's a force to be reckoned with. See, the more and more I watch into this whole situation unfold before our eyes, the more I feel it's less accidental. I think it's more strategic on Hokit's part. See, Derrick Lewis might be the perfect name to elevate Josh Hokit's strategy, and I'll tell you a few reasons why. Because I mean, Derrick Lewis is a veteran. He is starting to become part of the old guard. He has, I think, missed a little step in his skip, so to speak, especially in his fight against Acosta. That I mean, he could have just had an off night, guys. Fighters are allowed to have off nights, absolutely. But we got to think about the timing. We got to think about where we are right now because the UFC White House card is already historic by itself. This promotion knows the entire sports world is going to be watching this event. You got the White House as the background. You got 4,500 to 5,000 military personnel that are going to be all around the cage. Okay, you got politicians, mainstream media, people, celebrities, people from all around the world, casual fans to hardcore fans to anyone who's a fan of combat sports. You're going to have your boxing guys, your wrestling guys. You're going to have anybody who wrestling guy. Everybody's going to be there. So if you're the UFC, what kind of fighters do you want standing out on that card? Right? You got to think about this for a second. You guys, I mean, the UFC obviously wants strong personalities. They want controversy. They want hype. They want sound bites. They want people to be cutting promos left, right, and center on their YouTube channel. They want people to be doing videos like this. They want fighters, whether you love them, whether you hate them, they want all of those guys to be talking about this. And a lot of people are talking about it. And one guy who understands his game very, very good, almost perfectly, is Josh Hokit. Don't think he's a dummy, guys. Yeah, he says a lot of weird, you know what. But look at what he's already been doing leading into this event. I mean, he's been taking shots at Shama, at Potan himself, Alex Pereira. He's been talking about Ilya Topuria. He's been creating friction with everybody around him, even the likes of Sean Strickland. Guys, he takes no prisoners. This is no random UFC fighter who's just happy about the opportunity he's been given. This guy seriously thinks he is the division. He's got the division by its cojones. This is modern fight day promotion. And when you factor in everything that I just talked about, guys, that's what you call currency in today's modern world of combat sports. The more you talk, the more hyped somebody is, whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's irrelevant. The more hype, every time you turn on social media, when it comes to combat sports and there's a clip of Josh Hokit, well, somebody's doing something right. You need moments like that. You need those kind of clips. You need fans arguing, debating with you online. I mean, just before, even when I thought about doing this video, I was talking to a few people. We were getting into a debate about Hokit. I mean, this is generating, like, he's generating so many views faster than most heavyweights in the UFC right now. He's even dominating headlines to the point where he's even getting more attention than guys like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, who's going to be fighting this weekend, by the way. Who's talking about that? Well, some people, yeah, but a lot of people are talking about Hokit. That fight's still a long ways to go. I mean, you got John Jones, Stipe Miocic, you got, like John Jones wanting to come back. That news is starting to fade, guys. It's starting to fade. Francis Ngannou just, you know, Francis Ngannou's out of the UFC. Tom Aspinall, he's got some inactivity. He's got some, I don't know, daddy issues or love-hate issues with the UFC. I mean, that's a whole different animal to talk about. I mean, the division itself in UFC has lacked a lot of consistency in the heavyweight division over the years. But Josh Hokit brings a lot of that back, with that consistency. He brings a lot of that hype. He brings a lot of volatility, of course, a lot of chaos. But that's what makes the guy so valuable. That's what makes him so valuable. I mean, I don't think that makes him elite, but it definitely makes him valuable. And the UFC clearly sees his potential. They know exactly what they have right there. I mean, guys, come on. When you're dominating the headlines and your fight's not till like, June 14th, but then, there's a big heavyweight fight right around this corner. Nobody's talking about that. What does that tell you? Right? And Derrick Lewis, I mean, what can I tell you about Derrick Lewis? I already talked about Derrick Lewis. I mean, he is one of the most accredited heavyweight boxers in the UFC history. A guy who's had the most knockouts, a respected legend. But not only is he respected, guys, we got to be honest when we say this, he's also a very vulnerable champion as well, too, right? Respected and vulnerable at the same time. But that's what makes the matchmaking so sweet when it comes to the UFC. Because if Hokit beats Derrick Lewis, guys, on a reel, I mean, it's going to set the stage up for like some serious super fight with Josh Hokit. I mean, he becomes the next big thing in the heavyweight division, whether you like it or not. I mean, especially even if he does it in dramatic fashion or not. Well, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. If he beats Lewis in in a very, very quick, decisive, even brutal manner, that's it, man. He's on top of the world. But then there's a lot of danger that's going to follow this as well, too. Because, look, Derrick Lewis is still Derrick Lewis. Don't count that guy out, man. He's where he's at for a reason. And, people forget every single time he fights. They just look at him like, oh, he looks like my teacher or like a substitute teacher or something. This guy's one of the most dangerous accredited heavyweight fighters in all of UFC history. A guy who has knockout strength, knockout power. And you know what, man? He can do some damage. And I think he could do more damage than Curtis Blaydes. Yes, I said that, guys. I think he could do more damage than Curtis Blaydes. I mean, that power never leaves you as a fighter. That championship mentality, that in-ring, or shall I say in-cage, octagon IQ never leaves you. And honestly, there could be a point in all of this that we're talking about that maybe, just maybe, Hokit might be playing with emotional fire at this point, because sometimes these are the things that veterans need, a little kick in the you-know-what to wake them up a little bit, to remind them of who they are. Sometimes these guys, aging as gracefully as they are, fighters sometimes need a little bit of that youth to come at them, square in the face and call them out a little bit, calling them washed up, level, archaic, whatever, finished, all the words that just kind of, fuel that fire one more time. That can create a very, very dangerous scenario, and we can see perhaps maybe a mutant emerge out of Derrick Lewis come UFC White House or Freedom 250 White House card. And you know what? Look, you also got Alex Pereira waiting in the wings. He does not like Josh Hokit. I wouldn't be surprised if Hokit wins this. We might be looking at a big bang between Hokit and Pereira. Don't forget, it wasn't too long ago, Pereira relinquished his light heavyweight championship because Potan wanted to go heavyweight. He wanted to test the waters up there. He's been flirting with wanting to go heavyweight for quite some time. And now he's a heavyweight. He's going to be taking on Cyril Gane on that card. And maybe the winner out of that takes on the winner out of Lewis and Hokit. Who knows? All I know is that the UFC continues to yield their wizardry, creating all this magic all around us. I mean, the company no longer has to wait for personalities to happen naturally. They amplify them every single time. They reward them, they build events around them, and that's exactly what's happening in this case. I can't wait for this fight, guys. Josh Hokit, he knows the game, he knows the drill. Don't underestimate this guy either. He knows this environment better than us because he is a UFC fighter and in probably one of the most dangerous divisions on the planet, the heavyweight division. But he's young. He may not be dumb. He's young. Yeah, he creates a lot of controversy, but he creates a lot of visibility. Visibility creates leverage. Leverage equates to moolah, big time cash. And that's what it's all about, guys, at the end of the day. And now he's stepping into the biggest spotlight of his career against one of the most accredited, recognized heavyweight fighters of all time in UFC history. Probably one of the most dangerous punchers, and that of the Black Beast, Derrick Lewis. If he wins, Hokit's career changes overnight like that. But if Derrick Lewis wins, and if Derrick Lewis knocks him out, after all this talk, the entire narrative flips instantly. Instantly. And honestly, when I think about it, that's exactly why people are going to watch. There's a reason why Donald Trump wanted Derrick Lewis on this card. Donald Trump, a big fan of combat sports, has been watching the UFC, watching MMA fights, boxing for many, many, many years, longer than some of us have been alive. And he knows the power that Derrick Lewis yields. But he also knows the volatility and chaos that comes with this younger fighter in the name of Josh Hokit. Let me know, guys, what you guys think. I want to hear it in the comments, guys. Man, we're a little quiet on the comments these days, guys. Did Josh Hokit go too far of accusing Derrick Lewis of quitting in his last fight against Acosta? Or is this exactly the kind of personality that the heavyweight division needs right now? And is this exactly what you expect to hear from a guy like Josh Hokit? Make sure you smash a like and subscribe, guys. There's many ways you can support our channel. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, concerns. Hopefully no concerns. But I want to hear your thoughts and comments, guys, because that's what's important to me so I can respond to you guys. And thank you guys as usual. The pleasure is all mine. We're probably going to be doing a live stream this weekend, watching the Alexander Usyk, Rico Verhaven fight. Don't forget, Hamza Shiraz is fighting as well, too. Lots of titles up for grabs, guys. It's going to be exciting. Fight weekend is upon us. Anyways, guys, in the meantime and in between time, that's it. And I look forward to catching you guys in another amazing video. But before I leave, catch one of these two videos because you know you're going to like it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.